Ladies and gents, welcome to the EU Gears Pro League week number 4 summer quarter. My name is Chris Turn. I am joined by Fru once again. Back to normal. Obviously, we like a sprinkling of Toby Campbell now and then, don't we, of course? But Fru is back with me. How's things going, mate?
Yeah, I'm all right, thank you. It's good to see Toby back into the mix last week, obviously, and yeah, good to get back into the second half of things this week.
Toby in his dodgy chair. I got him to show the audience his chair that he's got. Oh, it's always hilarious.
A little torturous.
But more to the point, it was a very interesting week last week. We've seen some upsets, definitely. Well, at least one. Of course, Oxygen going on to beat Elevate, find themselves in second place. Let's have a look at the standings, bring them up, and give us a reminder of how things have looked after the first 3 weeks. Of course, now we're into the second half through, but we are poised very nicely, aren't we?
Yeah, I mean, it's looking like another exciting, split this time around. Oxygen in that second place. I think we all kind of expected Oxygen and Elevate to be in the opposite positions there at this stage. So that's a very, very interesting one. And obviously, Oxygen today, they've got the opportunity to do one better in that second matchup. First one obviously being that bottom of the table clash, which is really weird to say with Elevate being involved in that.
It is. I was trying to compose some tweets beforehand, and I was about to say like a top of the table and bottom of the table clash, and I was like, it's a bit harsh for there being only 4 teams, I suppose. There's just fine margins from being in the top and the bottom half, but it is very correct. Elevate sitting in the bottom half there is not something we are too used to, and their loss to Team Sick last week was really convincing. Against Oxygen last week was really convincing on Oxygen side of things, who looked really, really good. Looking forward to the second matchup between themselves and Rated R, but let's concentrate on game number 1, and let's remind ourselves of how things went last time around these two teams met. It was, of course, Elevate against Team Sick, formerly No Mercy, of course, no longer part of that organization. So back to Team Sick we go. And last time around, we didn't get to see this game because it was during the time when we sort of went dark, if you like. And Elevate obviously winning this one 5-3, 5-3. So not a complete drubbing, if you like, here through, but definitely a comfortable one for Elevate.
Yeah, I mean, it's a 2-0 at the end of the day, right? But I think the match scores are actually more important to look at than the round. And I think a 2-0 is what we would have expected from this matchup. Yes, Team Sick, they made it difficult. They got a few rounds here and there. But at the end of the day, it was 2, nice closures really coming in from Elevate. And they did manage to walk away as the victors without dropping a map. So, we have to look at this one as, an expectation of what is to come. And I think, Elevate, they should still have this in the bag, even though they are slightly lower in the table than we thought they might be at this point.
Yeah, and the guy to look at that is Crimson's 3.94 KDA, the highest KDA, of course, with the least deaths and a fantastic amount of eliminations as well, not too far away from Craze. So Crimson's having a really good time with things last time around. The other side of things, though, it looked pretty convincing in terms of KDA towards Elevate. So we are really expecting an Elevate performance here, aren't we? They do really need to bounce back after that loss last week. I mean, lose to Rated R, then lose to Oxygen. The only team they've beaten so far is Team 6. So a bit of a difficult situation for them to be in. But let's talk about Team Sick first and foremost. What do we think their biggest problem is right now? Because we said in week number 1 when they came into it, of course, a new team in here, replacing Obey, if you like. We said we wanted to see them have time. Is this at the point now through where you want to see them actually start to pull something out of the bag? We need to see some sort of progress, I feel.
It'd be nice to see. They've had a lot of good competition. They've got a few games under their belt, a few weeks under their belt, and they're not really doing much better than Obey were, right? I mean, we've got to give them the credit that's due. They're a newer team than Obey were in the same situation, and they've got some players that haven't had their footing in the Pro League. Usually we say it takes about a quarter for players to kind of really get into it, and the likes of Red9, the likes of Notorious, they're still finding their feet. The kind of old guard, I suppose, in J-Rage, Reader, and Physics there, they've actually been performing reasonably well. And Reader, much better than he was, prior to his leaving the Pro League. So I think we might be calling it slightly too early, but it would be nice to see some signs of life at this point.
It would. As I said, we're hoping to maybe see a little bit more from now, but I feel as if we need to see maybe a little bit more from Notorious. I don't want to put everything sort of on his shoulders, but he came into this with whether the hype was necessary or not is what shoes he has to fill, really, isn't it? It's one of those things that, he was built up, and now does he put the pressure on himself? Has he felt that pressure on himself to make sure that he does bring that level of performance that we know he can? Of course, his 1v1s, etc., are something that a lot of people looked at and said that he will be a big asset to this team because of that, but we haven't necessarily seen him at that level that was expected. Although, as I said, it's not just all about one player. Of course, the whole team do need to perform, but another team who arguably are underperforming as well has to be Elevate. Let's talk about them. 1 and 2 after the first 3 weeks. I think, if they'd lost one game, if they'd lost to Rated R, you probably would have been like, okay, well, these teams do go back and forth somewhat. But the fact that they lost to Oxygen as well, do you feel as if that's going to be a wake-up call for the Elevate squad? It feels as if, based on some of the tweets I've seen last week, maybe they've been in cruise control a little bit. Do you think that's maybe the issue right now here with Elevate?
Yeah, I mean, I'd go as far as saying it's more of a slap in the face than a wake-up call right now. They are underperforming. They'll be, the first to admit it. We have to say it. It's not been the best quarter for them, and the loss to Oxygen kind of cemented that for me. The games against, Sick before were close in terms of around 5-3s. They didn't have that kind of scoreline against Obey back in the day. They just seem to be a lot more comfortable in the previous splits. This time around, they don't seem to have the opposition kind of down. They don't really understand them as much. And it's kind of worrying to see, to be honest with you, from a team that, we've called out many times as being top 3, top 4 in the world, to see them now sat 3rd in the Pro League and getting hammered by teams that are, pretty new format-wise to this kind of circuit is kind of worrying for this Elevate squad.
It has to be, doesn't it? It's one of these things where we would like to see them maybe be getting back to that level. But I said, do you think it is one of those issues, or maybe they've sat back a little bit, maybe they haven't been scrimming as much, etc., due to how they, obviously went on to win that major, but then since then they haven't necessarily been up to scratch. I'm curious to see what the problem is with Elevate, but I would like to think that last week's result will really kick them into gear. We have seen it before, especially, I always cast my mind back to the very first week of the Pro League that we ever did, and they lost straight away to Anoni, or who are now Rated R, of course. And then ever since then, they went unbeaten for like 10 weeks or something like that. So we may see that. Let's have a look at the picks and bans, though, before we do discuss it maybe a little bit more for this game. So Training Ground's gone from Elevate, no surprise to see that. Bunker then gone from Team Sick. Icebound coming in, and Vazgar. I think these are the maps we played last time, top of my head. Obviously, we didn't see it.
The first two are.
Yeah.
The first two are the maps that we saw. So Icebound and Vazgar are exactly the same. The Bunker pit ban is a similar ban as well from that first set. The only difference is that third map there at the end. Last time we played District rather than Asylum. So a little bit of a switch up there. Oh, yeah. Or didn't. Would have is probably the better way to put it. So, yeah, that to me actually is more comfortable for the side of Elevate. They're good
100%.
at Asylum. I like that. They won it 2-0 last time. And, if your team's Sick, I would have expected to go somewhere else, in terms of the map pool.
Yeah, it's one of those that you would have liked to see something else, but maybe they feel confident in their Icebound, and then all of a sudden you've got Vazgar to play, and it looks as if Bunker is a crutch ban for them. They need to get rid of it every single time. So you get put in that situation. But if you keep repeating the same thing over and over again and hoping for a different result, it's maybe not going to work for them. But let's be honest, we know they're going to be massive underdogs in this game anyway. So is it a case of, well, we play them on Icebound, we only lost 5-3, 5-3, maybe play them on the same maps, around here or there different, suddenly it's very level. Maybe they're just sort of thinking that way.
Yeah, you've got the VOD to go back and look how you lost on it as well if your team's Sick, right? So it doesn't... Well, unless you've recorded it yourself, you're right. You're completely right. But yeah, you might have the VOD. You'd hope you had the VOD, and especially knowing that we weren't on broadcast. But the one thing that is quite interesting about this picks and bans is actually the alternate teams that have picked these maps this time around. So last time around it was Elevate that picked Icebound. This time it's Team Sick. So we are seeing the teams pick different maps. It's just that the series itself has worked out the same. Don't know why the teams have decided to do this route, but yeah, I think that would be my best guess is that. They've seen it, they've tried it, they might have tweaked a couple of things here and there, and really it depends who's gone back and looked at the past.
I think for Elevate here, they see Icebound, then Vazgar pops up. You can already see that the ban percentage is there for them. The pick percentage isn't necessarily high for Elevate on Vazgar either, but they probably know that they beat them last time on it, feel confident on it. just don't mess around. Let's just go with the same map. I think that would sort of be, if I was on Elevate, that would be my mentality. But there we go. There are the maps, of course, Icebound, Vasgar, and Asylum. Yep. Now, we did have a little conversation before the game of who we thought would make a difference for both of these two teams. And one player that has been a standout for Team 6 has been J-Rage, and of course, for Elevate, Crimson's last time round was ridiculous. But right now, these two, yes, Crimson's KDA, etc., looks very, very good, but the fact that they're sitting third will mean that he maybe needs to police finger out even a little bit more. J-Rage at a 1.22 was the sort of standout from the team, and that says a lot, though, doesn't it? At only a 1.22 for him.
Yeah, it's not the best of KDAs. You know, we talked about it a lot last quarter, and the average was around about 2.0. So to be sat at 1.22 at 3 weeks in, it's not fantastic. But you did mention these two, you know, they are the kind of stars for their team, and especially so the last time these two played each other. These KDAs, you know, these eliminations, they were all better when they played against each other. So, you know, for example, Crimson's ran a 4.33 on Icebound last time they played, you know, and that's, you know, 150%, maybe close to 170% higher than what is his average in the league. So the reason I'd like to call these two players out right now is that if they can kind of, you know, go past their expectations once again, they'll already be a foot in the door, especially Crimson's, given that his team behind him, you know, they pretty much match his pace. So really good to see these two players performing. J-Rage got a lot more on his shoulders, really, than Crimson's does. But end of the day, these are the two top performers from these two teams, and it's going to be exciting to see him go head-to-head.
Yeah, we're going to need to see a lot from J-Rage, it has to be said. I think Crimson's can even have a bad game, and we know that the rest of that team in there do have the ability to go on and play well, of course. But, you know, I would really like to see Team 6 come out and do something here. We looked at the team at the beginning of the season, as said, and we said we'd give them time. The argument could be there is that they should still be given time, although they all necessarily didn't give them that. But now moving into it, it's getting to the point now where they don't want to obviously be in that last place finish. This is somewhat turning out to be a very important game. It's the team who are third against the team who are fourth, albeit we don't expect that to necessarily, or should it be the case, towards the end of the 6 weeks. But it's a game that they do need to look at and say, right, okay, we need to start at least winning some maps here. And 5-3, 5-3 last time round will probably give them some sort of confidence going into this one. They know that they can take rounds off Elevate, but are they going to against an Elevate team who have got a resurgence front behind them? They just lost 2 in a row previous to this game, of course, and they don't want to be in that spot. They don't want to be any further behind Rated R and Oxygen. So moving into Icebound, Elevate really do have a point to prove, whereas Team 6, let's just see what you can do.
That's it, isn't it? You can see it there. 50% win rate as well for Elevate on this map. So it's not fantastic if you are, you know, an Elevate fan, but it's certainly better than Team 6, so they would be the favourites going into this one. We didn't talk too much about predictions, Chris, but I would still guess a 2-0 to the side of Elevate is probably on the cards here.
This trading post tends to be Jackfex's playground. Last week it wasn't so much against Oxygen, but it's a really good start for Elevate. There you go, elimination ticks on through very, very fast. And round number 1 can often be like that, especially on this map when it comes to these big engagements in the middle. You win the first couple of gunfights, which Jackfex often does, and all of a sudden you're in a 5v3, and it's a bit easier to clean up these fights. 1-0 to Elevate, nice clean round.
Was nice and clean indeed. One of the other reasons, you know, we might be seeing Team 6 kind of head this route, you know, to go through to Icebound is, you know, they did see Elevate lose this map last week, right, against that Oxygen team that did so well against them. And they might have taken a few notes out of their playbook as well. So there's always that to consider, because that was a 5-1 win in the favor of Oxygen against Elevate on this map.
Let's see, can Team 6 get back into this one? Just one round, though. But they're going to go for the same sort of engagement in the middle. Jackfax this time is going to go down, so this fight can maybe be even up, and it is J-Rage the one doing the business. But, well, I thought he was on his own, but right now it is going to be Notorious. Finds the kill on the Crazed. You would have liked to see him maybe try and pick him up a little bit sooner, but goes for the kill. Does find one, but then does get traded out. Right now, though, it is going to be Elevate. Getting on the board with B. Looking to get a hold of A as well. They are going to go back on down. They should be able to pick up their own home hill, but the initials are being won by Elevate.
Yeah, indeed. Going to start to build that point score up a little bit. No early elimination this time around, no early domination, but points definitely in the favor of Elevate. Actually, map position as well. They have a decent hold there. You are going to see a bit of a push coming from Team 6 here, as Physics is the third man in. They're just going to try and get hold of this trading post, and what they're doing there is just establishing a bit of control here in that mid route so they can start to take that B hill from Elevate. But if you have a look at that overhead map quickly, you can see a line of 3 sat looking down upon that B hill, and that's going to be so difficult for Team Sick to push this, to break this, and then to recap it. They're going to lose a lot of time here. They're going to lose a lot of people. You can see already that kill feed already lighting up blue.
It's a big fight going on towards C as well, but Elevate holding on. Phelpsy will find the kill on the red 9. That's nicely done. Now they're going to start pushing. They want to find a little bit more. Not too sure why J-Ray just jumped back out that way either. Maybe expected the push to be a little bit more aggressive, but Elevate were there just to pepper them up. Rita, can he get inside? He's just going to back on down. Knows the domination's coming in, and that's one of those where Rita has to save his life as his team goes 2-0 down. And that is another pretty clean round for Elevate and relatively easy.
It is. It was. It has been so far very easy for Elevate. This could be a very quick map as well if it carries on like this. I'm talking 30-40 second rounds. No extended gunfights, no long setups. Shot grenades will help with that, obviously, as they come in. They're a very good area denial tool and will stop that push in the trading post happening quite as quickly. Expect the same things from the other side as well.
Let's see who can make the most of these. Something a little bit different for the teams to use going into these engagements, and Team Sick are the ones hoping to see a different result with this. Shock's equipped, and keep an eye on the downs coming in from Reader and Phelps. The flash is going to go through though, and a lot of members of Team Sick coming down through. It's a 2v2 actually in the middle, but Hydron just cleans up far too easily. His shotgun shooting cannons through the Team Sick, and Notorious is in a bad spot. He's going to go down also. Crazed up, only want to drop for Elevate, but it's another very good start for them. Seems as if they've got their tails up this week for it.
Definitely so. They don't want to lose another. They do not want to go down to the bottom position in that leaderboard, especially not in week 4. That would be laughable, really, for this Elevate squad. Good revive coming in there on Hydron, getting back on his feet. He's been doing a lot of work this round already. Picking up a 3-piece off the bat here, and now the pressure's just been put on by Elevate. This is lovely. Their position is great. They've managed to find that down. The cleanup's going to come in on Physics and J-Rage there. And we're now momentarily in a 3v5 situation as see Hydron putting on even more pressure. They've got them cornered. They've got them captured here. This is beautiful. And they will just start to move over towards the C hill, start to put on the choke. The problem they're going to have here, Chris, though, look at that A hill. No one's capped it up just yet.
Yeah, they don't have a hold of it, but I think the fact that they've got so much pressure into the spawn of Team Sick is what they want to keep here. Just keep these lives ticking on down. J-Rage can't really do much apart from find Phelpsy, but the problem is you find Phelpsy, what's he doing straight off the respawn, going towards A, even though it's not going to matter as the elimination ticks on through. This is a walk in the park for Elevate so far. 3-0. Yep. And I think we've seen a combined, what, 3.5 minutes worth of gears here, and we've got a 3-0 lead for Elevate.
If you ever want a bit of video about how to play textbooks gears, this is the one you should come back to and watch, because this is actually Elevate performing really well. They're not just making flashy kills and coming out clutch. They are playing this as a team perfectly, finding the kills, finding the downs, getting those setups in positions that work for them. As you mentioned, they could quite easily have kept respawning up, could Team Sick, but they would have just drained all their lives, and they've still got another round to go in this half. So they did the right thing in the end. Don't respawn up, save those lives, let Elevate have this other round and try and turn it on this one. A 3-1 scoreline, you can come back from that against Elevate. 4-0 though, going in at the half, that's going to be a different matter.
It is going to be difficult. I think you're right, Elevate just played that perfectly, didn't it? Played it so well. We're going to this middle engagement once again. The Reaper himself, Jack Fex, is in here, but he has teammates as well. Hydron has been doing the business in the middle, actually. For all of them, calling Jack Fex the one to do it. Hydron's been the one picking up the kills in the middle. And that's another clean sweep. If we can just bring the scoreboard up to try and have a look here as well. Because right now, Team Sick are just... I mean, what? They've got 4 kills between them. 1 assist in there as well. This is looking dire for them. It has to be said.
It really is. It's Hydron score. Oh, that's unfortunate, actually. Phelpsy would have had the kill otherwise. But honestly, Hydron scoreline 15-7-0 at this point in time. Looking real good. Doesn't want to die, and I think he'll be looking for the perfect game here. Good push coming through from Team Sick, though. They find some kills. Jackfex catches them off guard. Another good spread, though, comes in. Another assist there for Hydron. Jackfex going to pick that one up, and what looked to be a good push for Team Sick turned on its head just by one player hiding around one corner.
Well, Team Sick are the only ones getting points on the board here, and here we go. This is a little bit more like it, as J-Rage does fine too. We said he has to be the guy to really, well, not necessarily put the team on his back. That's not what you want to see if you're a Team Sick fan. You want to see the whole team being a cohesive killing unit, but right now all they're doing is sitting at the respawn queue. Red 9 and Co, though, have managed to get out just a little bit here, and are starting to warm up. Maybe a little bit too little too late. 3-0 to Elevate now, and it's maybe a little bit of a better round from Team Sick. It has to be said, they're in the lead. They got control of A, they got control of B. But I said, is it too little too late for it?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure we can count them out just yet. 3 rounds come very, very quickly in Gears, especially if you find those eliminations or dominations off the bat. Hydrone, he's on his last down. That's something we've got to remember here. Bit of damage his way could really help in one of these fights because he'll not go down again. He will fall straight out, straight back to that respawn queue. Flashbang's coming out though here. Shotgun he picked up by Hydrone as the B decap comes through. Swarm's still going to win in 120 seconds, but that will change once this B capture comes back in.
Well, Elevate trying to use the Blizzard to their advantage to try and get a hold of B here. That is going to pass in an opportunity maybe alongside her, but this is the first time Elevate have really had to work for a round here. For the most part, they've been just dominating and running through Team Sick, but a little bit of resilience here now. Crimson's is going to get the down onto Physics, and maybe this is the moment now that Elevate start to move. Phelpsy putting in shots from Trading Post as well. He's going to down Critters not once but twice. And then we'll finish that one up as well. So that maybe will slow it down, but the damage has already been potentially done as B is being captured. The win condition is with Elevate. 60 seconds or so, and they will walk away as winners of this round.
Big push coming in through the Trading Post there. Phelpsy had to jump out the window. That's just going to give up a bit of middle control here over towards the side of Team Sick, but a good shot grenade coming in from Hydron here at the back side of things. Just holding that supporting role. Should be all right. Just holding Team Sick off. You can see Team Sick, they're going to go for the break now because they want to do that before that timer ticks over, and they've got it in just in time. They might lose a member here, but 189, 194 means that at this point in time, they still win the round. And it's up to Elevate now to really push back, really get a cap or a break on the other side of things, really to close this one out. Hydron finds his first death of the game. As we say that, Swarm still going to win, and they're looking to lock in B. If they do that, it's going to drop to about an 18-second timer. This one should be in the bag for Team Sick.
It should be, unless Elevate get moving. How many times have we seen them do it? Might be a bit of a tall order this time around, though. The positioning isn't necessarily there, even if they get a hold of B here. Is there anybody even over towards A? The gunfight's still ongoing, and that time is ticking down. That's a first round on the board for Team Sick. It took them 4 minutes and 8 seconds. I think that was a longer round than the first 3 in total that we've seen.
Yep.
3-1, so it's nice for them to get a round back after the half, and that's a much improved round. Reader having a good game so far. Well, I say a good game. He's having a better game than the rest of his team, but they will get the round on the board, as said, which is the important thing. So there we go. Elevate, not necessarily pinned back, but something to think about as Incen's about to come in for both 2 teams. Shout out to all you guys in the chat, though. Skins on offer. We like to see it. 2,000 viewers right now. Lovely stuff. Hope you're all doing well on this Monday. Into the next round, though. Elevate. You have a feeling they maybe want to just try and pull away again here. Another round on to Team Sick, and maybe a little bit of momentum with it. Nobody challenging this fight for Elevate, though, in the middle.
Yeah, no one at all. A bit of a change of strategy. They know those incens are in play. They know those shot grenades are in play, and it just makes that middle corridor so difficult to really fight for. And, you know, without losing anyone to any kind of rogue grenades, your own included, better just to stay back and see what happens around the fight, because actually without that B hill down at the bottom side, Trading Post doesn't offer all that much. You can still cover this E hill from the exterior.
J-Rage now shuts in with the rest of his team. E is captured. We do often see Elevate be a little bit more passive when it comes to the flip at halftime. Although here comes the aggression from them. Jackfax is going to find one. J-Rage I thought was inevitably going to go down. He does in the end. Hadron will get out as well, but a decent incend coming in here. And that's actually covering up E, so nothing that Elevate can do about it then, but they will jump on it now. And here comes the pressure. They've got a hold of E, or at least decapped it anyway, and they keep rolling forward, trying to look for kills. Reader is the next one to be hunted, and they're just flying at every single player on Team Sick right now. Reader should be dead, and is. F is now the target. Physics is the one trying to defend his home hill. He does have some company as well, but Elevate have got what they came for in the middle. And they're looking for a little bit more here for it.
They are. They just want to put that pressure on once again. Start to get rounds back under their belt. Looking towards this airfield. It's a difficult push, actually, without a shot, without an intent. But flashbangs, they're going to help out for sure. In the end, Elevate, they have to retreat a little bit here. There's just too much pressure coming down this corridor from Physics. And actually, you can see the down coming in. Physics with a nice rotation here. They're going to find a couple of kills. Team Sick now on the offensive, looking for another one. Shooting at the back of the boots there of Craze as he has to run back into the radio tower. As he does that, he's going to lose his home hill. Has to rotate again.
That's nicely done by Team Sick. They soak up the pressure, they bounce back themselves, and all of a sudden, well, domination was on the cards, but D has now been decapped, even though there is still a fight going on over towards there anyway. This fight, though, starting to go in the favor of Elevate. They find a couple, and now Physics has to back on down. He may be the next one to go. Lingering around, just trying to slow things down here towards D. He knows that's the last thing that Elevate have a hold of, but they defend it well. And Elevate still have time in this round, but the lead is with Team Sick. The control is with Team Sick. It's ticking down slowly here. But even if Elevate get a hold of E, Team Sick are not going to be far away from a one-cap win. I think Elevate might just have it if they do get a hold of this now.
Yep.
I think they should. Yeah, there you go.
Ever so slight, though. One break.
One break.
That's all they really need. They're going to try and force that now. You can see them fighting on this trading post. 4 members strong here. It's going to be a difficult one, but the break is going to come in. That will change that win condition over towards the Team 6 side. Kill on Jack Vex as well won't help matters for Elevate. They might be letting another round go from underneath their fingertips. Crimson's gets a nice one off the back roll. Red9 has to run off, but
look at
it's
D.
all about those other hills.
Oh.
D's in contention. F is completely in Team 6 favor. That's going to be another round going their way. We're going to have a 3-2 game.
Well, there you go. After the first 3 rounds, would you have expected to be here after 5? Probably not. Honestly, I thought we'd be moving on to Vazgar by this point, after what we've seen in rounds number 1, 2, and 3. But a bit of a fight back here from Team Sick. In all honesty, I think they've just rotated very nicely. They held on well. When Elevate were really hunting, when Elevate were getting back into the swing of things in that round, they pushed very, very strongly towards market. Couldn't quite get the kills, had to back off, and then from there, Team Sick took charge. Now find themselves only 1 round behind, and as said, after the first 3 rounds, it's not something you would have expected.
No, not at all. They'll be wanting to get another one here. Imagine tying it up 3 apiece after some really, really kind of difficult opening rounds. They really have tested their resolve. They've come back strong.
Hydron has to back off. It's a good shot grenade coming out. What is the counter shot going to do? Not a lot. Alpsy's the only one to drop. And will be cleaned up as well. So Notorious and Cole once again getting control of E here, but where's the push from Elevate coming from? It's looking like it is going over towards D. Notorious now going to go over and help his teammates who are defending it very, very well. Hydron and Crimson play. Notorious has to back him down. Crazed is going to find a kill on the Physics, so it's a big fight about to go down here. Elevate are the ones seemingly winning it. Red9 is going to find Hydron and Crimson's. It was only the drop on the Crim, but he does manage to get away. Crazed is going to be answering back with a kill onto J-Rage. And this fight has just about went in Elevate's favor. They will get a hold of D, looking towards E, though. It's going to be a big 1v1 over there as well. Phelpsy, smartly, choosing not necessarily to push it yet. He knows Reader is isolated. Nothing really much he can do here, but off the respawn towards D is where Team Sick are going to be able to keep themselves in this round. But an FE hold for Elevate is going to be well locked in by the time they get out of this spot.
That's it, isn't it? And a lot of people would have kind of questioned, oh, why is Phelps not just going to try and push that 1v1? You know, he could have won that, could have won his team, but realistically, that's a 50-50 fight. It's 1 versus 1. He wanted his teammates with him. They got that down, and what they've transitioned that 2-cap into is a different 2-cap, but what they've got is full map control at the same time. There's no one behind their lines. They can set up how they want to. It's a more comfortable setup for them. In the end, it's a very, very good trade. And also with the kill that came from that as well, they delayed that push a little bit longer.
Elevate still holding on here. Hydron will get a hold of the kill onto Red9 as well, making Team 6 job just that little bit harder. Got a good position here, Elevate. Hydron inside, and his teammates watching over from the wall. The flash comes in, and Steep and Hydron is stunned up. Thankfully, Crimson's is going to drop Physics, who was managing to make the push through as well. Crimson's in there with Hydro lingering behind. And here come the kills. Hydro and Crazed and Crimson's all combining well. 3 members of Team 6 enter the respawn queue with 20 seconds to go. This round is looking like it's going only one way. Let's see if they can clean it up, or can Team 6 produce a miracle here? It's not going to happen. D is the only thing they have a hold of now. I see nobody else anywhere near any other of the points on the map, and Elevate are going to lock this one in. Elimination is going to pop up, not the elevation. 4-2. Looking more like it from Elevate there. 2 minutes and 30 seconds is what it took, but in the end, a well-deserved round. Just controlled that one nicely. A little bit different to the first three. That one was it, Fruit?
Yeah, just a nice, long, controlled round. They were trading upwards pretty much all the way through the rounds in terms of, their setups and their control, and that's what you want to do, right? Just make it more and more comfortable as you go throughout the round. Liking what I'm seeing there from Elevate. In the end, good decision by Team Sick, I think, as well, not to just keep wasting lives as well. They were so close to that 250 mark that, even if they did come back and win that fight on their home hill, they probably weren't going to go back and find that, that E-hill capture or that market capture. So I think we're in a good spot here for Elevate. I think Team Sick made the right decision in the end. Would have liked them to see... Maybe made a bit of a better push, though, on that E-hill. They kind of got stopped by one incendiary grenade and didn't really expect it by the looks of things.
Once again, Team Sick are the first ones there. The shock this time, though, is solid from Elevate, and it will slow them down for that push. This could be another one of those classic standoff icebound rounds where neither team wants to make a move towards E. I would like to say that Team Sick probably have the better positioning here, though. Inside a trading post is a good spot to be there. Maybe a little bit more real estate on the map, haven't they? And now Elevate
just
are the
got
ones
the option to bail out. I think
Yeah.
that's the main thing that you got to kind of think about at this point, is that if you get pushed and it's a good push by Elevate, you have that option just to bail and go to the D hill quickly.
Oh, the shot's going to be coming in here from Elevate. Team Sick trying to pull the trigger. Managed to get hold of E here, but at what cost? Flash comes through now. Elevate do start to push Notorious. The first one to find a kill, though. Hydron is going to go down. We said we needed to see more from him. Seeing more we are. That's 2 kills now for him, and Red Knight's going to find another. Phelpsy will deal with Notorious, though, so Elevate will keep some numbers here, but Team Sick have held on. The gamble pays off as they make the push over towards E. Crimson's now at a bad spot, but he will find Red Knight. Rita and J-Rage as well going down to Phelpsy, and all of a sudden, 2 members from Elevate have turned this hill and this round on its head. Physics is now dead as well, and that was really Team 6 for the take, and you feel?
You would indeed. They've got to push hard now onto their home hill. Flashbang's going to go down for Hydron here as he's trying to defend. 1 second on the clock. We do see Elevate back off a little bit, but they're going to get the kills. The nice little hidey hole there for Jack Fex means that he's going to get a very, very easy up 8.
Difficult
spot. Clean up here on J-Rage.
It should be.
Yep.
Elimination ticket on through for the final time in this map. 5-2 for Elevate is going to lock in a well-deserved dominating victory. Team 6 threatened to come back, but now 1-0 lead is what Elevate have, and that was ever so comfortable. Very, very nicely done, Hydro on the MVP, and Elevate will be happy with that performance, I think.
Yeah, I mean, they've improved on the result last time around. They were 5-3 last time, right? 5-2 this time.
Physics didn't have a single kill. He would have had assists, but yeah, not one.
Yeah,
that's a tough one.
That's not great. 7 assists as well to his name. I think you'd want more out of such a long-standing, top-end player like Physics, right? He's one of those players that is usually a really kind of a rock, He's someone you can rely on in your team.
Rock bottom.
0 and 7
on the leaderboard. Yeah, and an assist per round as well. You need to see a lot more. You need to see a lot more than that, has to be said. I don't like to maybe pick on KDs too much, but that's a tough one to view, of course. But there you go. Elevate 1-0 up now against Team Sick. A very convincing Icebound. It was 5-3 previously, 5-2 this time round. I'll be happy with the improvement. And honestly, I mean, I was quite surprised Team Sick came back to an extent in that game after the first 3 rounds were so convincing towards Elevate. But now moving on to Vasgar, I think it should be done and dusted. I know you said we didn't talk production. I didn't really think we needed to. Even after Elevate stumbled throughout the Pro League, and that maybe sounds harsh, but I just think as if right now Team Sick are comfortably the 4th best team in this league at this moment in time. And Elevate are showing that
Yeah.
right now. Very, very decent win for them. 5-2 on Icebound, moving over to Vazgar. I'd be very surprised if it isn't very similar, in all honesty.
Yeah, me too. The way Elevate were playing there as well, actually, they looked to me at least a little bit better than last week.
Yep.
Obviously, against tougher opposition, you tested a little bit more, right, and you put under a little bit more pressure. But even still, I thought their setups were good. They were rotating right. They were making the right choices. And when it just came down to it as well, their gunfights, they were winning those 1v1s. They were finding the picks that they needed to find. It looked like Elevate of old. And I think you're right. I think Vaskar should be a pretty simple job for them if they can just perform like they did again.
Yeah, if they can just play like that, then Team Sick are going to struggle to deal with them. But, Vasgar's a very, very different kind of map. It has to be said to Icebound. But, I think it doesn't make too much of a difference, I would say. I would like to think that the way that Elevate played in that game means they should be comfortably winning Vasgar, of course. But I would like Team Sick to prove me wrong. I really am. I know it doesn't sound like it, but I'm rooting for them. I want them to do well. I want them to be there with the rest of these guys. I would love nothing more for every single team every single week could possibly win their game.
Yeah.
That's like the optimum scenario for me. I would love to be like coming into each week not knowing what the results are going to be. Game number 2, I'm really struggling to sort of figure out which way that one's going to go, but this one very much so is an easy one. I would say Elevate should be able to take Vasgar, but they were just so convincing there. The first 3 rounds were just clinical. They win those fights in the middle. Maybe, Team Sick pull out of them a little bit, or Elevate maybe pulled out of them when we got to halftime, didn't they? That was the thing, and that's maybe why we didn't see so many of those. But the retakes, the control, the lance of fire was all very, very solid from Elevate, and ultimately what won them the final couple of rounds. So nicely done on that front. But Team Sick, I think, as I said, I don't like to touch on KD too much, because it's not necessarily about that all the time. It's about how you rotate, how you outplay your opponent in terms of the map. But you can only do so much of that if you're not winning your gunfights. Like, you still need to win a couple at least to try and beat the team. I mean, ultimately you can win 5 gunfights in one round and win the round, because you can get yourself set up, or you can win by elimination or domination. But you still need to consistently be there at a point, and they weren't for the most part. When they were, yes, okay, things look good, but then again, you got people like Physics going 0 kills across the whole map with only 7 assists. That sort of slack is going to weigh you down a little bit, and we expect to see more out of Physics. We will see more out of Physics. He's a good player. We know he is. It's just a poor map from him, and it's always going to be difficult when you've got that slaying side of things not on your side.
Yeah, especially against a team like Elevate, who are very, very good at taking advantage of that.
Yes.
And that first round was kind of proof in the pudding for that, for me at least, is they went into those fights, they were comfortable, they didn't really back out of anything. They were even, numbers down, still confident in finding kills. But it's the little kills as well that really add up. We saw it in that very last round, Jack Vex hiding, in the fish market, just against the back wall. It's not a spot where you usually find a player to be waiting for you. So you often just kind of up A, you head there. It's a route, it's a traversal route. You don't really expect to be fighting it. So little kills like that, and we saw them quite often, they do start to add up as well. Because if you can get one of those around for your team, you can maybe translate that one kill, into a 5v4 fight or a 3v2 fight. And from that point, you gain more and more kills. So even little kills like that don't look like much on a scoreboard, they don't add up to much on a scoreboard, can really be a swing in terms of the momentum of the game and the motion of the game.
I think for me, the big moment in round number 5 was the point of where Team Sick had held on. They won the gunfights after committing to getting a hold of E, but then they lost. I think Phelps, he found 2 very, very quick kills. Crimson's finds 1, and then the other members are already hightailed and back to their home side because they know the push is going to come in. It's just when it comes down to gunfights like that, you can't be losing like that. Those 2 quick kills to Phelps. Yeah. You maybe trade that for 1, you're in an all right position. You just need to trade. You don't even need to completely overtake the whole map. You don't need to get 5 down. Just trade away, and then you're all in an all right position there. But they lose every single gunfight after the fact, and then they're in a really tough spot. So it's just picking your moments to, well, I say pick your moments to win your gunfights. You go in to win every single one of them, but it's picking your moments when to commit. Isn't it? You need to be in that position. You need to make sure you win your important ones, and then you can still win the round. It doesn't matter if you're not performing to the highest level or winning every gunfight, but if you're winning the important ones, which they didn't do there, then it's a bit of a different story. But of course, in that one, a convincing win for Elevate. We're going to be moving on to map number 2 very, very shortly. As said, it's a very, very different map, but I still don't hold out much hope for a different result for Team Sick.
No. I think it's similar to, I'm going to say this, and I know people are going to think, what are you on about?
Okay.
But I think they can approach it similar to how they've just approached Icebound, in that Icebound, they played that first half very, very aggressively, right? And then the moment that half switch came in, everyone jumped back. And that is such a confusing, disorientating thing to play against. If they'd managed to do the same thing on Vaskar, and they can really take Team Sick out of their stride, and that's something that you can do against new teams, is really kind of work on their mentality. If you can get them second-guessing themselves and second-guessing their own strategies, Vaskar actually becomes a really easy map, because you find an advantage at one half of the map whilst holding the other, and you can just rotate that advantage pretty much all day long.
Well, into map number 2 we go. Team Sick, of course, playing this one 2 times and not winning it. They haven't won a map yet in the Pro League, and we want to see that come through. If you want to see the stats from the previous game at EGL, we just tweeted them out for you to have a look at. But if you're a Team Sick fan, it's not pretty viewing, I will say that. 0.44 KDA out of physics. That is a tough one. I hate to keep hopping on it. He'd be watching this back saying, "You please stop mentioning that," but it is a shocker. You're very, very right. But here we go. Into Vaskar. Can't we see something a lot better out of Team Sick? It's a decent start, though. It didn't be in their possession, I should say, but Craze is going to move forward, find a couple of kills, but it's going to be forced away. Reader here, though, can he clean anything up? Oh, my word. Jackvex and Hydro both go down. Physics is going to get picked up as well, so it's a decent start for Team Sick.
Yeah, that was nice, actually. Reader rescuing the day there. 2 very, very nice solo kills, defending his teammate and getting the revive in the end. That's a bit of a swing play.
Physics got a kill.
That's one more than Icebound. It's a good start.
He's already doing better. He's got 2. Here we go. This is more like it. It's just a blip.
He's heard you, eh?
He's like, I'll prove him wrong. All of a sudden, it's a Team Sick domination ticking on through here. I don't know if Elevate are going to be there. They're just about going to get there at B and C. They've lost a couple of gunfights on the backside of this one. So Team Sick still in control. Elevate do stop the domination ticking on through, with Phelpsy overextending over towards A here, looking for a sneak play potentially. Here come the reinforcements from Team Sick as well towards A. What's Phelpsy's move? Crimson's all alone, is probably going to get pushed. Needs to try and back down as the rest of Elevate now. Moving over from C. Phelpsy pushing right behind, but Reader's knowing what's going on here. The kill's starting to come through for Team Sick, and 2 cleanups come through as well. Crimson's and Phelpsy, of course, both do go down. They may be able to clean up here. Jackvex is aware of the flag coming on through, but he will eventually be taken down. Red 9 finds Crazed, and then Jackvex. Much, much better from Team Sick here.
Yeah, they're in a really good spot here. Closing in on 100 points ahead as well. 60 seconds before they win. That'll get half in just a second. As Team Sick, they're going to lock in the C hill. Notorious as well. 1v1 situation. This supposedly his bread and butter. He's going to show Hydron up as well. Elimination's going to come through. Team Sick, they're going to be getting the first round on the board. And that, out of all the maps they've played against Elevate so far, is the first time they've won the first round. They've lost the first 2 in every single map so far. So this is a good start. It's a good sign.
Much more like it from Team Sick. It was just the start that they had to get a hold of B easily. Elevate don't contest. Don't know if it's a miscommunication on Elevate's side of things, but props to Team Sick. They get things done when they need to, which is, well, in round number 1 of the second map. We need to see a big turnaround from what we've seen on Icebound if they want to get back into this game, but that's the start you would like to see. Let's have a look at Physics' stats. Is he? I want to see how he's doing.
3-3-1.
Oh, you see, this is significantly better already. He's already doing better.
Yeah, you have to say. I mean, Physics, he's been longing around enough to know that occasionally you have a bad game, but it just can't be at the Pro League, you know? It's got to be at the screen.
It can't be no kills with only 7 assists either. I mean,
yeah,
there's bad
really
games,
bad
then there's bad games.
If you think back to when he got that beautiful triple snipe here on Vaskar as well, like, we've also given him the limelight on the opposite side of things as well, right? We've called him out for days on end when he makes fantastic plays, so he has to take the good with the bad.
Oh yeah,
He's got to expect it from us.
Oh no, 100%. Be rude for me not to call it out, really, wouldn't it? I'd not be doing my job. Anyway, in B, currently in the hands of Elevate. And they keep a hold of A here, actually, as Team 6 starting to get aggressive, but Phelpsy is there to try and clean up. Crimson's is here to find the second. 2 kills going over towards Elevate. Nicely done from them. And they will now make this push seemingly over towards C. B is being held by Team Sick. They've got men over there, but they need to come back to defend their home hill here. I'd imagine Elevate are probably just going to get a hold of it and then back and rotate over towards B, or if they can win the gunfights, they'll push through. Just going to back down. Team Sick should be able to get a hold of C fairly easily here. As Elevate maybe linger a little bit too long. Once again, in control of the round. 1-0 up. In control of C and B. Not a bad spot to be in if you're Team Sick yet.
No, not horrendous at all. You take that, you take the pressure that you've got currently. Trying to convert this one into a domination. Only one person up here for Elevate. It's Hydrone. Can he do anything about it? Not at all. 2-0 lead for Team Sick.
Well, there you go. Looking very, very much a different story here for Team Sick. It's a lot better from them. Just they're rotating and winning their gunfights on top of everything is obviously important. We said it is. They didn't do that last map at all. It's obviously a very different map. It's Vasgar, but they're winning their gunfights. They're rotating well. It's looking a lot better. But if you're Elevate, you need to change something up here. And I'm not too sure what it is, to be honest with you. I think Team Sick are just playing better. You know, you look at that movement when Elevate make the push over towards C. Yep. They linger just too long, and Team Sick find the gunfights, and all of a sudden they can just run through the other side of the map, get control, and suddenly the round's over. So Elevate misstepping, Team Sick playing well.
I definitely agree with that. I think as well, Elevate just not playing with their usual confidence as well on the defensive side of things. We saw when the fight was coming in at the Sea Hill last round, Elevate, they had to back off. They realized that, you know, they were taking too much damage. They were losing position, and in the end, they lost the fight because of it. And, you know, if I think of one thing with Elevate, it's they're comfortable taking their team fights. And at the moment, it had seemed at least like Team Sick were doing the better of that.
Well, all of a sudden, it's turned on its head as 4 members of Team Sick all head back to the respawn queue. Notorious now, being a nuisance, is going to be following his teammates who are now back in off the respawn, but are they going to be back in there quick enough? Reader should be able to get in and deny this domination. Has his teammates in tow as well. J-Rage moving forward, does find Crazed, but Reader going down. Crimson's Co will back on down. Crimson's will not back down, he'll fly towards them. I'm not too sure if he meant to do that, but J-Rage is going to pick up an easy kill. Oh my god, he's shooting rockets out of his Nasher. Good lord, J-Rage. Now they push forward and Elevate. We're backing down, but didn't fully commit to it, and they may be punished for it here. Hydron is going to get the down onto 1, but needs help from the rest of his team. Needs some good Lancer fire coming in. J-Rage is there and waiting around the corner. Here come the flashes. Is this going to be able to help Elevate make this push back out? Red Knight down. Physics down. It's beautiful shots out of Hydron. And now the shoe is on the other foot. Is Elevate bounced back when Team 6 should have pulled out? Oh my god, it's a massacre. Is Elevate find not 1, 2, or 3, but 4 kills. And now Team 6 only have a hold of B. That's only because Reader's extended from his spawn.
Yeah, that was all looking real good actually for Team Sick until one little play, and we mentioned it in the break between maps. It was a secret man play. Phelps, who was hiding around the corner, caught Reader off guard, managed to open up that entire bottom side of the map and put so much pressure on the A side of things that the Sea Hill fight was easy because attention was diverted. Love what I'm seeing there from Elevate. Just trying to find the advantage wherever they can. It doesn't have to be flashy, even though the Sea Hill fight was definitely that.
Physics will be down as Elevate look to continue this run. J-Rage with a nice kill, but he's all alone as Reader then eventually does come on through. But Elevate just seem to be closing the vice here. They only have a hold of C though, so Team 6 were in maybe a bit of a better spot, but A is now going to go into the hands of Elevate. This round should be over. It should be Elevate's first on the board on Vasgar. 2-1 now. A little bit more like it from Elevate, but they would like to see some maybe clean rounds, wouldn't they? I think it's not necessarily a massive struggle in that one. In the end, a comfortable round, but I mean, Jack's sitting at the bottom there as well. You maybe need to see a little bit more of him, but better from Elevate. They'll be happy to get on the board.
Definitely so. Definitely so. We saw 3-0 last game. It's a bit of a difficult one to come back from. 2-1. A much better scenario here. We're going to see the sniper rifle go down. We are indeed. Long shot getting placed there on the Elevate side of things. Grenade meta on the Team 6 side will start to get upgraded. We'll see shocks and incends coming out at some point, I'm sure.
So here we go. It's round number 4. Can Elevate find another one as the lives would reset at the end of the round? Looking who is potentially in danger. You're looking at Craze, you're looking at Reader. The only ones really that could potentially find themselves on 0 respawns, but Crazed is probably going to be trying to play his life as best as he can here with the long shot in hand, of course. It's a good map for it. It's not often we do see the long shot. If it is on any map, it is typically on Vazgot. He's got his choice of targets here, and I don't think Team Sick are going to give him too much opportunity.
There are so many just awkward little trick shots you can do with this long shot on this map, and it's kind of like the likes of Fuel Depot from the past, you know, from Gears 1, Gears UE.
You're never really safe, are you? Yeah, there's always an angle. Yeah. Oh, like that one, he is just going to get the body shot in there. That wasn't far off. One in the chamber is going to get the down at the physics, and here comes the push from Elevate. Nasha out pushing forward. Still one member who's actually managed to escape around the side of tank. That's going to be Red 9, who's going to find the kill as well. Can he find a second? And some good shots onto Crazed. All of a sudden, is this changed around? Not quite. Phelpsy is going to get the shots onto Red 9 now. Can Crazed help him out in his fight against J-Rage? Yes, he can. Phelpsy finds 1, 2, and 3. Reader goes down. Really nicely done. Just well worked together in and around B from Elevate. Looking to try and tie this one up at 2-2. Hydron just holding towards A as Team Sick now start coming off the respawn. That was really, really nice between Crazed and Phelpsy. Played that perfectly round B.
Absolutely. Crazed, you know, we don't always give him props on the stream. To be honest, he's probably the person on Elevate whose, you know, name leaves our mouth the least. But that supporting play there, you have to give him complete credit for all of that work. He realized the flank was happening from Red 9. He managed to get the body checks over and over, and he had that support with the pistol at the end there to, you know, feed Phelpsy 2 kills. It really was nice play.
J-Rage and Co, though, are going to get a hold of B, but they've lost C in the process. It's about committing the right amount of resources, isn't it, to one side of the map. Multiple points in the map at the right time. It's a difficult map to play perfectly, Vazgot. There's always somewhere that somebody can slip by, or you can just maybe take the wrong gamble. Right now, though, Elevate happy with this 30-second win condition that is slowly moving down. And Physics putting in plenty of shots to help his teammates out here as Hydron and, of course, Jarkvex both falling down. Here come Team Sick towards A now. So only thing Elevate have a hold of, they've left C, B, nobody there either, although we can see one member off the respawn is going towards it, but can they win this fight here anyway? Doesn't look that way, as Notorious and Co will get a hold of A, will get a hold of B. Thankfully for Elevate, Team Sick are still quite some distance behind. Jarkvex is going to get a hold of B. The kills start to come in towards A as well for Elevate, so they may have just saved this round. I think the annoyance was that Red 9 got out with a long shot as well, but not to worry, Team Sick not looking too hot in this round. Oh, no. Good shots by Hydron onto J-Rage. Notorious will find the kill to counteract it, but Elevate win in 7. There should be another round. Nicely done by Notorious. It will matter very little. I say that, sorry. Ooh. A got decapped and B was not far off, but just a little bit too late.
Yeah, it was just the movement there really from Notorious just wasn't quite, you know, just in time, right? At Elevate, we praise them often for timing it to the second to perfection. And over on the A hill, there was a 1v1, and that was to perfection. You saw the decap come in. That's why I was thinking maybe we'd called it early, but Elevate hold it strong in the end, don't they? Swarm loadout being hovered here. Perhaps Boltox coming in for Phelpsy. On either side, expect maybe a shot grenade to come down at the arrival spawn as they start to just load up with those grenades. It's going to be a Retro Lancer. They're going to change it up. They're going to go for the long shot matchup. I think they're realizing that this long shot is doing a lot of damage here in the hands of Crazed, and they really need to have something to match it. And what's better to match a long shot than another long shot?
Who's going to get a hold of it then? When it does come around, of course. Yeah, I'm curious if they're going to give it to Physics when it comes around.
Yeah, maybe.
But here we go.
Time. Obviously,
yeah.
It used to be... Ooh, that's a lovely shot already from Crazed.
God damn it, Matt.
Double.
Puts in a good shot with a long shot. We don't get to see that one, but can we see any more from him? The kill starting to rain on through. Looking to waste some more up, but Elevate forcing their way through over towards F. Notorious is going to find a incend onto Phelpsy, but Crazed finds the shot. Nicely done. Very, very clean. Now J-Ridge, the only one left to defend E momentarily. The rest of the team now coming back up, but some good shots coming out of Crazed there, and they need to get a hold of the long shot on their side of things here, Team Sick, as soon as possible, and need to counteract it with some good shots just like that when we move into the next round. If that's what they choose to go for, of course. But Crazed now just trying to defend here with his Nasher. Does well. Red 9 goes down. Team Sick are going to be able to take F back, but they're being pinned in. That's 3 from 3 so far from Crazed. Notorious goes down as well as he overcommits, and Elevate will get F back. And it's all on the back of Crazed, finding 3 kills with the long shot. 1 with his Nasher on top of that as well. Phelps is going to jump Reader. On top of that, it's a very good round so far from Elevate.
It really is. All off the back of those headshots, though. It's just opening up the map for them. It's one of the maps where a 4v5 really means a lot. You know, on the likes of Asylum, the likes of Icebound, you can often hold it with, 4 people instead of 5, but here on Vascar, you need everyone. If you're against 5, you need 5. Finding those headshots each and every time is really, really good for your team. And actually now, I think Crazed in a bit of a bad spot. Full red, has to back out, has to extract himself.
And for all the good play out of Crazed, Elevate haven't found themselves with much of a lead as Red 9 finds Jack as well. Hasn't been at the races in this game so far. Crazed is having to back down. Very, very red. Where's the rest of the team, though? Where are they rotating to? We can see number 9 already overextending over towards E as the rest of Elevate just try to hold on in their spawn. Hydro is hit. He will be able to pick this up relatively easily, but one fight has went the direction of Team Sick. But they still haven't been able to find much else. D is held. E has obviously fallen to Team Sick. But F is where the prize is very, very shortly. This is a big fight going to go on here. There's only 1 member of Elevate around, but the rest of them are going to be coming up off respawn. Hydron will be able to be picked back up. That kill would have been nice to secure. J-Rage and Notorious here, though, just trying to hold on. They're going to have to back off because of the spawns from Elevate.
No, indeed. Decapping in on the E side of things. Good kill there by J-Rage. COG team still going to win. F-Hill battle's going down as well, though, so really is a battle of both sides here. Looks like Hydron's got 1. Notorious going to take him out now, and 2v1 situation with COG. They will win in just 3 seconds' time once they lock in this hill. And it's going to be exactly that. A 3-2 lead now for Team Sick. And another long round, but a good round for Team Sick, you got to say.
Yeah, played that one well. Just once they got a hold of F, they pushed forward. And that was off the back of Crazed obviously having a very good start to the round with the long shot. And if you're Elevate, though, you just didn't do enough with it, did you? I mean, no. They find the kills, they find F, and it just seems as if they got pushed off it a little bit too easily. Now we're going to see a long shot on the side of Team 6. So matching Elevate and that terms of things, of course. Obviously with the lead as well, it's looking good for Team 6 so far. Can they force a map number 3 here? That's the question. It's on the cards. Played well on Vasgar so far. Totally different story to what we've seen in map number 1.
Yeah, definitely so. They are playing well on Vasgar, and surprisingly, actually, they look pretty defeated over on Icebound, but I suppose that's the beauty of having kind of different maps, different play styles, right? Some maps suit you, some maps don't. Some days you're just having a bad time of it, and there's a nice headshot from Notorious. Looking for his second, gets the body check. Isn't able to connect with 2, but still, nice play. Now looking back towards his own home hill here. Flashbang going to come out from Phelpsy, and Phelpsy, with the aggro push, has to back off in the end.
It's an ambitious sort of shot by Notorious, but maybe scared Phelpsy away a little bit. Oh, they know exactly where he is, though. Oh, God. Bad spot for Phelpsy to be in. Maybe overextended a little bit there. A little bit too much of an aggressive push. Red 9, though, is going to get caught with his pants down as well. Push coming in here from Elevate. Obviously, towards FD is the only thing that Team Sick will have a hold of. They should be able to get this one, but E has been decapped as well, so they managed to slip the net on that occasion, but F is in Elevate's hands, and they keep moving forward as well towards D. Notorious is going to have to back down. The respawn's coming in here as well, but the smoke is good cover. Hydron decaps, big fight about to come in. Red 9 and Co coming off spawn. Do Elevate want any of it? Yes, they do. Hydron pushes through and does get taken down. The rest of the team back on down, though. and Elevate will be happy with what they got a hold of. Although it's only a 20-point lead after pretty much dominating the kill feed for the majority.
Yeah, definitely so. It's just a difficult push up towards that ring, to be honest, and especially when you're down a person there. Hydron falling, left him in a 4v2 situation. They had to back out. They've done the right thing. They give him a couple of points for it, but in the end, they're back to fight their home hill fight rather than just having a complete sweep and a very easy hold for Team Sick. Rose gets a kill on J-Rage, and that's going to help things for Elevate. And on the other side of things, we should expect Red9 to fall here. Some nice crossfire comes in from Hydron.
Notorious did a good job there himself, actually pushing through, finds the kill, and then just keeps on running. I'd just like to point out the fact that Physics has 0 respawns already. He's still got a few more rounds to go here as well, so really has to try and start playing his life for a couple of rounds, at least. Red9 down to 0 as well. And if you look on the side of Elevate, nobody really that close. J-Rage is on 1 also. So Team Sick, for all that they have the lead, they're in a precarious situation when you talk about the rest of the game. Now, you see, you've given the snipe to Notorious, who's obviously did a good job with it last time around, but I think you'd rather see it on somebody who's on 0 respawn. Sit back with that long shot. Or do you want to get aggressive with it with Notorious? That's the question, but here we go. Push coming in from Elevate. They do get a hold of E. They're going to lose F, but the win condition is still with them. I think it will just about stay with them as well on a 1 cap. It will do. Another 10 seconds or so that Team Sick needed. Elevate should be able to lock this one in. They get a hold of D as well. They've already got a hold of E. Is there anybody over towards that? No, there is not. Team Sick pretty much need an elimination here. 3 seconds to go. It's not going to happen if you're Team Sick. 3-3 now. Elevate starting to turn it on here in the latter rounds.
Yeah, they're clawing it back, that's for sure. Playing this map a little bit nicer now. Having a quick look at the scoreboard. Physics, you know, he's still down at the bottom there. You said he's on 0 lives. He's also only at 6 and 9, and that's by far the lowest scoreline for his team. 12 deaths as well. Not having the best of weeks, has to be said. Incense going to go down. That's just to match up the opposition's Incense. Team Sick having those from pretty much round 2, 3. Notorious now gets the opportunity to change this map up a little bit. Question is where they're going to go. It looks like loadout options are going to be matched here. More Boltox.
Respawns obviously drop down as we do keep going. Can Krasdenko put this one to bed? They won't want to see a third map. You know, these map differences do make a difference towards the end of the season, so a 2-0 is not necessary, but it will be preferred. Shots coming in from Crazed here, maybe popping away when it's not on the cards. J-Ridge backing down. The rest of his team are here, though. No, there you go. That's the first head gone. Crazed will find Physics, who's now already down to 0 respawns. Notorious goes down to Phelpsy as well. Elevate allow Team Sick to get a hold of this F hill every single time, and they take it back nearly every single time as well. Nicely done by Elevate. As said, Physics going to be low on respawns, as is Red9. 6 down to 0. I knew I seen them go down to 0, but it just hadn't quite ticked through there. Thought I was being an idiot, but here we go. Now got a lot of the round left to go with no respawns available.
Against the sniper as well, it's even more difficult. You could think you're in a very nice spot, but one quick rotation by that snipe opens up a sight line. Phelpsy, though, he's getting loose a little bit here. Notorious down, J-Rage down. Elevate, 5v4 situation, Boltok in hand now, trying to get a second, third kill to his name. I think that's the wise decision. Just back off, set up that defensive line once again.
Nicely done by Elevate. The retake is strong once again. Team Sick on the rotation, though. They just have to be so careful, though. It'll feel like 4v5 anyway, because Physics is going to have to sit back and, well, yes, okay, the Lancer Fire is going to be there from him, but of course he does have the bolt up. But it can't really get sticky if things get up close and quarters.
Yeah, I mean, if he does, he's got to be perfect with it, right? He cannot die. Or it has to be right at the last minute where his death doesn't really mean anything anyway.
Red9 and Notorious going down. These fighters are going to start rolling in. J-Rage is dead. And whereas Physics, he just has to back down. He can't get involved in these fights. And because of that, Elevate's win condition is just going to keep ticking down. He's here now with 23 seconds to go. Do you save yourself as best you can? Oh, well, you're being set on fire, so that is out of the question. Physics is out, albeit this round was over anyway. Taking him off the board is nice to see if you're an Elevate fan, and it will keep that pressure on him in the next round as well. 4-3. Elevate with 4 out of the last 5 rounds, and are looking very, very confident heading into potentially the last one. They want to get this done within 8, you would think. And the wind seems to be within their sails here. Elevate looking strong.
They are indeed. Lovely little incense throw at the end there to just clean up Physics. Nice and flat, fast travel time on it. Not much dodging that, especially from that distance. It's really, really nice. And now I guess the question is, do Team Sick have anything prepared at this point? We do see that long shot getting blocked out for 1 round. We're going to see the same on the opposite side. I'd imagine so. Long shot was devastating when it didn't have anything against it, and leaving that up, I think, would have been pretty much suicide for Team 6. So having to match those disables means that we're going to go in with Incense and Boltox only. Changes the playing field ever so slightly, but in the end, you still got to watch your head, and you still got to be careful not to get burnt alive.
So here we go then. To see a lot more. Yeah, Notorious being lit up. Keep an eye on Red 9 and Physics. They're the ones that need to stay alive as best they can. We already see they're sitting back a little bit. Notorious is going to be chased out. Physics is going to find a drop with a high drop, but Red 9, Physics both dead. Now onto 0 respawns with the full round remaining once again. For Team Sick, with these lives so low, you need to see them win that initial pretty cleanly to have a good chance in the round. Now Reader's down. Oh, this one's over before it even started. Elevate. Dominate in round number 8 and get it done 5-3. They win 5 out of the last 6 rounds after a 2-0 start from Team Sick, and that's a 2-0 victory against the team who are rock bottom in the EU Gears Pro League. Elevate back to winning ways, though.
Back to winning ways, indeed. And it was the change of pace in that last round again that really did confuse Team Sick. And, a similar performance to last time they played, 5-3. They just can't find those crucial rounds that count. And for me, that's a sign that they need to start kind of preparing something a little bit better here. But on the side of Elevate, they absorbed everything Team Sick had to throw at them. Even with that round deficit, Chris, they came back strong. And they looked good while doing it as well. Some nice headshots in there from Crazed. Nice incendiaries, nice Boltox. Looking pretty good.
Yeah, that was comfortable, has to be said. But it was a victory that they needed to make look comfortable, I think. I think had it been okay, the second map was a little bit of hard work, has to be said. But when they got going to winning ways, as mentioned, they did look good and it did look solid. But a comfortable victory is what they would have wanted. I think had that went the last map, and even if they won a very close game, I don't think they would have been very happy with that. I think it's nice for them to get a comfortable victory.
Yeah, but they've got to start doing that against the the other teams in the league, the Oxygens, the Rated R, and that's their opposition for the next 2 weeks now, right? They've played that easy team twice. Easy team. Everyone is a pro league team here, but by pro league team standards in Europe, they are the easier team. Their next opposition, it's going to be much more difficult, and they've got to come into that matchup with the same vengeance, right? The same determination to win 2-0, to come back and claw those maps back and those rounds back as well, because they lost the last Pro League quarter on rounds. They got to be careful not to do that again here as well. Even if they do win these next two matches that they've got coming up, they have to be careful because they got slaughtered last week in a 2-0, and Rated R, they showed them up as well. So they've got to do the same in return. It's upwards and onwards for Elevate, but it's a real steep slope.
It is. It can still be done from them if they have themselves a good last 2 weeks, but that's much better from them. However, we do have an absolute cracker coming up after the break. We've got the top 2 teams going up against each other. It's going to be Oxygen taking on Rated R after this.